Good morning, everybody. On the West Coast, super early, as Carissa reminded me this morning, which was, hey, it's 8 o'clock over here. For those Hoosiers on the East Coast, it's 11. So we've got a huge time difference, but that's okay because today we are really excited to welcome a panel of lifelong educators and can you still hear me? That was a little weird. I had something funky happen on my end. So, man, we are having all kinds of issues today, but that's okay. We're going to get through this live stream and have Carissa, who is part of our Instructure Learning Services team, talk a little bit about some of the greatness that's happening in California, the California Canvas Collaborative. Did I say that correctly?
That is correct.
It is a mouthful. The C3 happening over there. Exciting time. She's going to tell you all about it, tell you about the panel and the panelists there in California. Thank you guys for joining us today. We're so excited to see what you have in store for us during this session. I'm going to let Carissa take it away. She's in charge today.
Thank you so much, Eddie. Hello to our Canvas family and to those watching because you're Canvas curious. Welcome. My name is Carissa Duran, Principal Learning Consultant with Instructure, and we have an amazing panel for you to kick off our California Digital Learning Showcase. With us today, we have Dr. Krista Herrera, the Administrator of Professional Learning and Student Support at Kern County Superintendent of Schools. We have Melissa Donez, Director of Instructional Services at Kern High School District. We are hopefully going to be joined by Juan Jose Madrigal, the Assistant Principal of Curriculum and Instruction with Delano Joint Union High School District. He is experiencing some technical difficulties, but we're hoping he can hop on here shortly. And we also have the pleasure of welcoming Penny King, a teacher and PBVU instructor at Panama Buena Vista Union School District. So we've asked our panelists to think about their Canvas journey and how leveraging Canvas LMS has impacted connection across their community. Research has shown that storytelling is actually one of the most powerful tools to learn, to influence, to inspire, and to connect. Today, we are sharing the stories of 8 districts across 5 California counties who are all a part of the California Canvas Collaborative, beginning with these awesome folks here. So to all of our panelists, I invite you to share your story. Each of you recently adopted Canvas LMS for your organizations. Tell us, how are you using Canvas and what do you hope for the future? Thanks, Melissa.
Good morning. Yes, we did recently adopt it just a little over a year ago, made the decision as a district in Kern High to adopt Canvas as our LMS going forward, knowing that we were going to be in distance learning for this school year. Some of the ways that we have used it is it really is our main source of content and curriculum for all of our teachers. We had teacher teams last summer spend just about the entire summer building over 150 courses that are common across our district. We have 18 comprehensive high schools and 5 alternative ed schools. So a lot of kids and a lot of teachers. So we were able to take this awesome tool and be able to be common around our district for distance learning for this year in an environment that was completely new for us.
And that new experience is something we all sort of shared together, right? Part of the reason why we have this collaborative forming, learning and understanding and building better together. Penny, what about you?
So we jumped on board after closing down last spring. We realized we needed something more than packets. And so we jumped on board over the summer and spent the latter part of the summer creating content for teachers. We pushed it out. Everyone had the same content. After the first 4 weeks of content, we loosened it up and created curriculum teams. And those teams created content resources so that teachers could go in and pick and choose what they wanted to address their issues or their particular grade level content standards. So we're using Canvas to create and deliver instruction in the classroom in person, asynchronously and synchronously. It allows teachers to present to the students in lots of different ways. We're enjoying, those of us on the creation side are enjoying getting to know Canvas, creating in Canvas, and we're looking forward to next steps. we're really looking forward to that elementary push out.
Awesome. So it sounds like you started some curriculum development in teams and then allowed teachers to also further customize that to meet the unique needs of their students in their class. So it sounds like at both districts, there's probably quite a bit of need for support. And I know, Krista, that KCSOS also offered a ton of support across the county. So for any of our panelists, what supports did you put in place for your teachers and your students to be successful over the last year, and also looking forward into the future?
Well, I will say that we were certainly very thankful for the support that Kern County Superintendent of Schools pushed out immediately for all of our districts here in Kern County. We were able to take advantage of the basics about how to use Canvas. It was essentially brand new for us, except for a small program that we have that's sort of a college prep higher independent level program that has just a few teachers. So we were so thankful that KCSOS had a team who were putting together just training after training for our teachers and helping them understand how to use the system. And so that was wonderful to jump on and be able to get a kind of a foothold before we even started doing that, before last school year ended, so we could hit the road running in August of this school year. So that was one way that, you know, just together we were able to support teachers in Kern County.
We also took advantage of KCSOS's training, and lots of our teachers hopped on board even before we pushed out Canvas, before they got their Canvas accounts, just learning basics about Canvas. I have a unique perspective because I'm on the ground. I'm a teacher. I'm using Canvas every single day. And that allows me to let my district know what supports we need and what supports are working. A couple of the things we've done is in the beginning, we had an online team. It was a call-in team. Teachers, parents, and students could call in and get support. And that really helped us problem solve quickly. So if you had a problem, you knew every day what time you could go on. And students also knew, parents also knew. We've morphed that now into just a student call-in line, because teachers no longer need that intensive support. But we have a Tuesday tips. So just a while ago on my phone, I got my Tuesday tips. So our TOSAs, we are 3 TOSAs who assist, create, and deliver training. And as a teacher, my biggest thing has been the support that I have given and received the most is keep it simple. Keep those modules simple, keep the training simple, keep it in really small bites. And we've done that, and our teachers are using it and becoming experts in Canvas.
We did something similar, Carissa. We, after realizing kind of the different ways that our teachers and students and parents would need support, we developed a website that had multitude of how-to videos, just quick little, 1, 2, 3 minute videos on as a student, how do I log in? As a parent, how do I support my kid? And then we also created a 1-800 number that we pushed out through media and social media. And it was a hotline essentially for parents and students and teachers, staff as well, so that we could just provide any kind of real-time support to our stakeholders as quickly as we possibly could.
Okay, I don't want to mean to interrupt, Carissa, in this fantastic panel, but let's introduce the man, the myth, the legend.
Welcome, Mark Jose. We are so glad to have you.
Thank you. I apologize.
Thanks for joining us.
It would not be a distance learning year if we didn't have technical difficulties to finish off the year.
Agreed.
But yeah, I'm glad to be here. So.
Thank you.
We're super happy you're here. So, Krista, you heard a little bit about our support at KCSOS, but we really were learning alongside our districts. We did not have Canvas experts in the county office, but we have a large county. It's very spread out. And we were really passionate about the fact that we wanted to ensure all of the 190,000 plus kids in Kern County had equitable access to high quality instruction. And so as a county office, the question was how do we support our districts and our teachers in doing that. So we recruited about 100 people from across all of the districts in Kern County to create standards-based UDL-aligned framework in Canvas. And so we created 9 weeks of ready-to-go curriculum and then sent it off to all of our districts to use as part of their core instruction as they got started. So we knew, like, we couldn't figure out where every district was in their pacing guide, right? That was impossible. But we knew having somewhere to get started and some curriculum to use as quickly as possible could be a support. So that's kind of where we started. And then we were like, well, that's great. We created this curriculum, but no one knows how to use Canvas, right? So then we developed this countywide, like, phased training for our administrators and teachers. And because we'd given that curriculum to everyone, we thought, let's start with connection. Let's start with how you build a classroom environment and connect with your kiddos, because our kids are really going to need that. We've never had this kind of interrupted instruction before. And so started with that and then transitioned through to where we got to the point of how you create your own courses and your own content in Canvas. But also then the question was, yeah, but now parents and students don't know how to use Canvas. Oh, okay. Right. So then we created parent and student trainings and then offered those to our districts. They could choose the script, we could come do them for them, or they could just watch it and remake it for their own kiddos and parents. And so we offer those trainings in Spanish and English. And that was really helpful and fun for us to get to train some kiddos, because usually we're kind of removed from kids over here. So that was fun. And then we really, as everyone kind of got like a breath, right? Okay, we're going to make it. We kind of figured this out. We started working with districts and how to create their own templates in Canvas to ensure that their district priorities were evident across those courses, and talked about how they aligned those courses to ensure that those priorities were evident and fulfilled their mission and vision. And then on top of that, you joined our team, Carissa, I think in the midst of this craziness, and started offering additional support and trainings and also office hours, which I think were greatly appreciated. If you don't know how to do something, join me in my office hours and I'll teach you live. So that's kind of what that support looked like.
And that actually reminds me of Juan Jose Madrigal and the story that I hope that he can tell from Delano. Delano was some of my more active office hours users, and that is because they decided as administrators to really support their teachers in making those office hours custom and available and raise awareness. So Juan Jose, can you tell us a little bit about what started all of that and how your teachers participate in our support?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that, if we go back to the end of last school year, when we transitioned to distance learning, and obviously we were all thrown in kind of in this situation. Our teachers were no longer teaching; they're just kind of, I would say, babysitting an online platform. And so being able to introduce Canvas at the end of the year was just kind of a sigh of relief, especially for our teachers. Hey, we're actually going to be teaching again. We're actually going to have our own classrooms, whether it's obviously going to be online, but I can bring my classroom into this Canvas space. And so we started off with the trainings from KCSOS, from the instructor there. And the teachers, they were excited, obviously, but overwhelmed. And so we, throughout the year, especially early on, we had regular targeted trainings for teachers. This is how you start. This is how you just open up Canvas. And as the year went on, we saw this, the support that was provided there. And yeah, the after school, we were able to compensate teachers and provide them that extra targeted support. We kind of gauged the interest. Well, what do we need help in? What do we need support in? Okay, let's talk with Carissa and see if we can kind of guide the next tutorial, the next training, to support our teachers. And we were pleased with the turnout. The teachers really took hold of it. And I think letting them know also that we're going to have this next year, whether we're in person or distance learning or hybrid, we're still going to be using Canvas next year. Then that really also led to a lot of buy-in, because we had some teachers, well, why am I going to learn this if it's going to be gone? And you're like, no, we're going to have this next year. We're going to be there to support you as well. We don't know what next year is going to look like yet, but we're going to be ready for everything.
I love that. We're going to be ready for everything. And Delano, I think, shows up every other week with 40 to 60 teachers in those office hours. And Juan Jose himself is in there, which is fantastic because it really demonstrates to teachers the importance of continuing to build those competencies around the use of Canvas for the future. I think I've seen here from all the stories that have been shared so far that connection was certainly a huge piece of this, and that connection took the form of trainings and hotlines and websites and in-person supports and asynchronous supports, and really the collaboration that I'm seeing between these districts and across the county, which is just a model, I think, for the way that we want to move forward in California, outside of California, all across the country, really, just maintaining that connection and maintaining the power of it. So one of Canvas's core values actually is connection. It's one of our drivers. So with the limited in-person contact over the last year, and even looking forward into the future, tell us, any of our panelists, how Canvas has had a positive impact on building and sustaining connections for both learners and educators.
Krista, again, I'm in a unique position because I'm on the ground in the classroom, and KCSOS did provide us with those SEL lessons to start the year off with, and that became a targeted focus for us, a course, and every teacher had the same course. And from that point, we've been able to, our curriculum team, push out further lessons in SEL, teaching students connection, problem solving, relationship skills. But even more than that, Canvas has allowed us to use breakout rooms, and I love Pear Deck for real-time interaction to keep our students connected and engaged and involved in the learning. But because that social emotional piece is so important, keeping them connected to one another in real-time ways.
Wow, so you're really able to leverage the external tools within Canvas to be able to continue to provide a high level of engagement for your students. That's awesome. Melissa, what about you?
You know, as Penny was talking about that, you know, it made me think about the ways in which, you know, we don't necessarily think about how, you know, we tend to gravitate towards our extroverted kids in a live in-person learning environment. And what was really neat was there were tools within Canvas that really were able to help our introverted students connect a little bit more. And when they didn't have to necessarily speak out in front of an entire class, but they could be engaged through discussion boards or asynchronously. And I think that was a neat way that it showed us that we can still engage our introverted kids in very meaningful ways. And that's certainly one of the ways that we are helping our teachers to see how they can continue to use Canvas. And as Juan Jose said, as we go back to in-person learning, this is an amazing tool for our teachers to use in so many ways. You know, while it was a difficult year, it was certainly a year where we learned how to improve upon our craft.
Absolutely. In fact, one of our viewers just commented a moment ago, you might have seen it on the screen, the importance and value of impactful blended learning was only highlighted by the pandemic. Now it's an integral part of education. We were just having this conversation with our KCSOS and Canvas team recently that blended learning used to be the future of education, right? What we aspire to do eventually. And the circumstances of the pandemic have now made that the floor and not the ceiling, right? Excellent education is going to be blended learning. Juan Jose, what are your thoughts on that? Oh, I think you're muted still.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I totally agree. I think that our students I mean, Canvas obviously in a distance learning setting, it provided opportunities for our teachers to have that instant communication with the students. Mm-hmm. Right. It's something that it's very, very difficult to transcend and transition into a hybrid or virtual learning without having those immediate connections, especially for those students that like Melissa and Penny mentioned, aren't very active. They don't like speaking out in front of the classroom. And so that it provides the opportunity. But also I think that Canvas, it also allowed the teachers, from administrative point of view, teachers to collaborate and to connect, by sharing strategies. Hey, this is what I'm doing. Come check out my class. Come check out what my online classroom looks like.
Wow.
Do you have questions? I can help you out. I can help you make it a little more beautiful, more appealing, more simplify it a little bit, because we definitely have a large variety of I guess knowledge, technology with our teachers, and so it was very, very impressive and very nice to see our teachers actually being able to collaborate. Some things that they do on a regular basis and they weren't able to do a lot of this year, until as we got farther on in the year, and then we're able to collaborate more. But it was building those connections for the teachers as well and staff.
That is fantastic. So I'm hearing greater connections for students, especially those who are maybe reluctant to participate in person, greater connections around collaboration between educators. I know, Krista, that KCSOS is building a ton of courses for professional learning, right? Can you tell us a little bit more about connections that way?
Yeah, so what's really interesting is literally the day before the pandemic, like March 17th, to me, that's the day of the pandemic. So we all shut down, right? We were having our first big meeting with Canvas and Instructure to talk about how we provide synchronous and asynchronous professional learning opportunities. So our goal at the beginning was to be able to serve teachers, because Kern County is really large and our cities are very spread apart. And what we found was our outlying districts weren't getting enough support from our office, because by the time they drove here, for an hour or 2 hours to get a couple-hour train and drove back, it just wasn't cost effective. It didn't make sense for their teams. They couldn't get subs. Right. And so we were really looking at this option. And what we found was huge participation. I mean, huge interest and huge participation when we were able to offer this type of support. What we also found, I think, because we all jumped in together, was we were learning what that looks like as teachers too. So even though we're teachers of adults, we were able to learn like, oh, okay, well, this can make this more engaging in this module if we do it this way. This could be more interactive here. And how did I use that discussion board? Or what's a survey versus a quiz, right? Like we were learning alongside our teachers, and it felt like this really amazing opportunity for us all to kind of learn together and reimagine what education looks like post-pandemic as a team. And it was a great opportunity. I mean, everyone on this screen probably didn't talk to each other very much before the pandemic, right? We got Penny leading trainings at KCSOS now. And so, I think it was just an opportunity to kind of learn so much from our partners. We did utilize Commons. I saw a question come up on the screen about using Commons for collaboration. We did utilize Commons. Some districts have turned the Commons off, but the majority of our districts have Commons on, and they are dropping content in there and sharing across their instance in some cases. And my light just turned off. And in other cases, they're taking content from Commons. So all of those 9 weeks of instruction that we talked about earlier, the KCSOS and our partner districts created, is all in Canvas for anyone to use who's interested. And so that's another way we utilize Canvas Commons.
Fantastic.
I'm sorry. I was going to speak to that Commons as well. I saw that pop up. And yes, Commons has been a great tool for us. Not only were we able to take our courses, I'd mentioned we built about 150 common courses that we use across our district and put those in Commons. But for the first time, it was a super simple way for teachers to connect from all over our district. And, and they could pop modules and say, hey, I built this really cool module on, cell biology or whatever. And then other teachers were able to grab that and use that. And so that was a really interesting way and fun way for our teachers to collaborate too. And just with that idea of connection, it made me think also, we were able not only, in this pandemic to connect to each other and our students in a little bit of a way, but we were able to connect also with our university partner and Cal State University Bakersfield. And we hired students from there to be tutors. And through Canvas, we have an online course and it's virtual tutoring. And so then we were able to connect our students with college students. through a virtual tutoring environment. And so we have kids from all around our district coming together every day from 1:30. Sometimes it went on till 5 o'clock, getting tutoring from our college kids here in Kern County. And so that was another connection that was really neat that we were able to do through the LMS.
I love, Melissa, I love what you said about the different ways for kids to connect. Those outgoing kids in my classroom have a chance to, I call it become star of the show. So during an online course, I can click on them, they're star of the show. Those shy students can participate in discussions and on chat. And the thing that we've learned that stretched us, it was, for me at least, an unexpected breadth of knowledge is those kids who had social problems in school, who were runners or screamers, the ones that were taking most of our time, some of those children have thrived in this environment. And so as we talk about learning loss, there's also been some gains and some wins, and that's, for us, has been one of them. We've been able to take synchronous and asynchronous students and cause collaborations between them. And we closed our commons because we got hacked last year. So, but we do collaborate amongst each other. And our district is big, and we don't get to talk to other teachers that are teaching in the same district, but we do get to share resources. And so that's been an important part of our success. And I think I've heard that from all of you, is just that ability to share resources and not keep reinventing the wheel over and over, but to take our best practices and share them with each other and let our work be efficient.
I think that's what we do as teachers, right? Just share and not reinvent the wheel. So
that's our superpower.
That's
absolutely. Right. And that actually brings me back to where we started, which is our California Canvas Collaborative. I think what we're seeing here with this representation across this geographically vast county, demonstrating just what it means to use Canvas to deepen connections and deepen collaboration and really ultimately just scale excellence, is what I'm hearing, is the great benefit of having digital content in Canvas, of having a common LMS. And it's the reason why we're developing the California Canvas Collaborative. So I'm hoping, Dr. Krista Herrera, that you would be able to share with us a little bit more about that, this statewide network, where our hope really, right, is to spotlight these awesome, innovative uses, these amazing Canvas stories across the state. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so really exciting work happening, as you could hear just from our panelists today, right? Maybe you hadn't considered reaching out to your college and using college students as tutors. Maybe you hadn't considered paying your teachers to go to tutoring with Canvas colleagues. Maybe you hadn't considered using your teachers like Penny to lead some of those trainings. Like, I mean, we've only been together for 20 something minutes and I'm already like, oh, everyone should do that. Oh, they should do that too, right? And so that's kind of the goal, to be honest with you, of the Canvas Collaborative, is we are obviously stronger and better together. We have all been working nonstop in education, maybe forever, but it's definitely since March 17th, right? Trying to make the best decisions for kids as we learn on the fly. And so we really want to look at those collective efforts to really provide equitable opportunities for all of the kids in California, because we don't want your zip code, right, to determine the quality of your education. And so if we can come together and share all of we're newbies, right? I mean, this Kern County team right here, we're all newbies, and we will let you know that. And so we know there's some of you listening online who's like, we've been doing that for 10 years. And we want to hear from you. We want your ideas, right? We want this collaborative to be full of everyone, from people who are curious about Canvas to people who truly are experts, so we can come together and best support the kids across California. So the way that'll kind of work is we will get together, we'll do some professional learning as a team, we'll do some job-alike breakouts where we can share, and we will beg our Canvas experts or Canvas newbies with expertise in certain areas to be able to share that so we can grow and learn together as a team. Also, really just want to remind everyone that Canvas in California is being used by all of our community colleges. Our last CSUs are coming on board, and several of our private schools. And so I really see this as one less barrier for our college freshmen. I don't remember how many of you remember being a freshman in college. That was pretty rough, right? So the more barriers we could remove to help our kids be successful, the better. So we are kicking off the Canvas Collaborative on July 27th, and we would love everyone paying attention online, every one of your friends to come and to be a part of this collaborative. So the kickoff is a conference. It'll be opened by Mark Anthony Garrett, who wrote Teachers Are Heroes. We'll really talk about the resilience of educators over the last year, and then offer strands of learning for site and district leadership, teachers, and also our technology rock stars, because those of you who have implemented Canvas know what an important role they play as well. And that'll be our first big event together. And then we will start monthly meetings in August. So we really hope to see everybody there. I think someone's thrown the link in the chat too. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. This has been absolutely fantastic. The stuff that's happening in California, my goodness. It's just incredible. I love the collaboration we've had. Looks like Juan Jose, you either want to be with us or you don't, my brother. I'm just kidding. It's fantastic to see all of you here. And we did have a question about how to become part of the Canvas Collaborative. It sounds like we've got some details here we're going to throw in the comment section and in the chat to those viewers out there that are interested. Beth, thank you so much for that comment, and we're gonna throw some contact information your way for either Carissa or Chris. So, hey, you guys, absolutely, thank you so much for being a part of today. We are doing this all day long in California, right, Carissa? This is something that we've been working on for some time.
Absolutely, 8 districts across 5 counties.
Yeah, it's a big day, and in about a half an hour. At noon Eastern, which I shouldn't say Eastern because I need to be on California time. You guys remind me it's 3 hours behind. We are going to be at 9 a.m. in California. We're going to be launching another session called United as One in San Jose Unified with Taylor Swenson, who's a district instructional coach. Should be a fantastic session. Everybody, thank you so much for joining out there in Canvas Famland. Super exciting. The California Canvas Collaborative. And if you'd like to be part of that conference happening on the 27th of July, the links are all in the comment section down below. Make sure you click that. Make sure you register. There are call for presenters. All of the good things happening in California. Thank you guys so much for joining. As always, keep learning, and we'll be right back with the next session in about 25 minutes.